Um, Big home game for us this week. Senior night. We got a lot of guys that put a lot in the program, had a lot of success here in the program. Those letting us know there's only 8 senior classes that have won 30 games in 117 years of Mississippi State history, and this group's one of them. So they've done an awful lot for the university, for the program, and for everybody here. Arkansas is a tough team, though. That's a great deal. That's a good feel-good moment. But more importantly for us, people to celebrate, thank those guys. But we got to find a way to win the football game. Arkansas is a very good football team. Brett does a great job. Very sound on defense. Play physical. Their guys play really hard every single snap. Offensively, I think one of the best schematic offenses in the league. Because they do a great job of mixing and matching, power running with a great play action and drop-back passing game. They got receivers that create mismatches. They try to create mismatches with their receivers and their tight end. Quarterbacks, very, very accurate quarterback. But might be one of the best quarterbacks we've played this year. When you just look at what he brings to the table, how he throws the ball, leads the team, accuracy from the pocket. So it's always a tough challenge. We got to be ready to play for 4 quarters because it seems every single year this game comes down to basically the last play of the game. Every year against Arkansas. I know here we've had an interception on pretty much the last play of the game here. To win, we had an interception in overtime. Over in Arkansas, we lost a double overtime game here. We block a field goal to win the game. It's kind of gone back and forth on the last play of the game over pretty much my whole time here. It's been that way. So it's it's going to be a tough battle for us for 4 quarters.
Questions? Right.
I know you talk about the Sundays not being a different win or loss because of just how the guys get that way. For young guys like Nick or Leo Lewis who are not used to that, how do you try to train them to forget about Saturday on Sunday?
You have to. But they're that's it. You're already on. We're on to way past Saturday. We're way into Arkansas.
Coach, you control your own destiny for bowl eligibility and thinking about how the season's going on now. It's really a 2-game season. How easy is that to kind of get those guys up and motivated to think about you win the next 2, you're still playing?
Well, if they're not, then they got problems. For us to be in the position, you could blink an eye and we'd be 7-3 right now, thinking about we're looking at still have the opportunity for a 10-win season on 3 plays. But right now it's not that way. You should be motivated though the opportunity to go for the senior class to go to their 4th straight bowl game, which is pretty special. And so the motivation. I'm motivated. I would certainly hope every single person that walks through that door is very, very motivated for us.
You faced Brandon Allen over the years. Just what similarities did you see with Austin Allen this year?
They're very, very similar. I saw somewhere they're different personality on the field and fiery that way on the field of how they do. But when you're watching the game tape, there's no just watching the play from the time the ball snapped to the end of the play, and I think they're very, very similar. They got. He's got a very strong arm, can put the ball, throw the ball all over the field to every part of the field. Great anticipation and throws with accuracy. Great toughness, gets hit, pops up, is willing to stand in the pocket, take some hits. So I see a lot of similarities. In fact, watching the film, I don't see a whole lot different between the two because I thought, I know the one threw for 500 on us last year, so we're going to play a little better pass defense this year.
Talk about that final 2 games of 2013. What do you remember about those 2 games, and
What was kind of your feeling going into those final two games, if y'all could get to a bowl game?
Well, it was very similar. I mean, you know, there's some similarities. We had a young football team. We suffered an exorbitant amount of injuries that year. You know, had some tough games, and there you are, you know, with 2 games left, having to go battle and fight. You know, the thing I remember, though, the leaders on that team in those last 2 games, I mean, they jumped up and kind of willed us to win, you know, that type of senior leadership. You know, I mean, probably the thing I'll remember more than anything is Nico Whitley playing on a torn ACL instead of having surgery, deciding to sacrifice everything for the team, and essentially winning both games by himself. You know, I mean, making the winning play in both games. You know, I mean, he goes and they were driving in Arkansas for the game-winning touchdown, just took the ball away, and then caused the fumble in the Egg Bowl to win. You know, that type of leadership, that type of toughness from our seniors and our leaders of our team that willed us to win those games was huge.
Coach, obviously a new defensive coordinator this year with Coach Sermon and kind of changing more to the 3-4 scheme. After 10 games into it, just your thoughts of that 3-4 and what you've seen moving forward.
Well, you know what, to be honest with you, I think we're even. We're about the same 4-3-3-4 that we were last year. So our scheme really hasn't changed all that much. But if you look at the number of snaps we've been in 3-4 compared to the number of snaps we've been in 4-3 for the last year to this year. So I think there's a lot of similarities to what we've done. I just think it's young players being out there in a situation, going to make plays at times. You know, I mean, we look and there'll be calls where you sit and you draw it up and you have the absolute perfect call made, and the guy goes the wrong way, doesn't run the right coverage, you know, just doesn't fit properly. That's the biggest difference for us.
I know last year you had to pick your poison between Hunter Henry and Jeremy Sprinkle at tight end, and Sprinkle had 3 touchdowns in that game. How do you go about just trying to contain him this year?
Well, you know, I mean, you got to be sound. He's a tough matchup. You know, it's a tough matchup. So you put a backer on him, he's going to be more athletic. You put a DB on him, he's got the size advantage. So you just got to go make plays. You know, he made plays. We got to go make plays. And I think, you know, I mean, you watch us play. If we're out there executing, making plays, we're playing really, really, really well. If we're not playing very, very well. You know, it's that young guys, that confidence in going to make the plays when they're there to be made.
Do you anticipate Logan will be back able to punt this week?
It'd be a game time decision.
When you think about, you know, potentially getting those 2 wins, what does it mean for a program to get to the postseason and use those postseason practices, especially for a young team like that?
Well, it's huge for a young team. I mean, the last time we were in this situation, we had a very young team. We got to the postseason. We took advantage of it, won a big bowl game, and took advantage of it to really grow for the next 2 years where, you know, I think we set a school record for wins in a 2-year span with those group of guys that got those extra practices in. So it'd be huge for us in the program, for the young guys in the program, to get those extra practices, to get that experience, and to get the opportunity to go to a bowl game.
I know Aries has kind of emerged as a guy, that primary running back. When did he start to click for him as that redshirt sophomore, that he kind of understood the offense?
Well, I think, you know, as the season, he started playing more, and you knew he had the talent. I think it was just the other things in protection. I think one of the things of a Brandon Holloway getting hurt and him getting some more opportunities to be out there on the field, and like any time in life, if you're given an opportunity, what are you going to do with it? And he was given that opportunity and certainly made the most out of it. If not just, you know, because I think a lot of guys, they would look at that situation, great, just give me the ball, I'll show you how I can run it. It wasn't that. It was in pass protection, in route running, in every aspect of the game, of being disciplined, making his right reads, running the football. Not just the effort, I'm going to play hard and just let me run with the football. It was taking advantage of the opportunity of being an every down back.
You mentioned the seniors. What kind of leader has Jamal Cleveland been at center? And, you know, a lot of people don't talk about offensive linemen a whole lot, but what has he done to kind of lead that group?
He's done a good job, I mean, Jamal got to play as a true freshman, got to play with some older guys and a great group of guys. I think he was a very unselfish guy of moving from guard, started at guard early in his career to move to center to take on that responsibility and be the guy that makes all the calls and the checks and everything that gets the offensive line going in the right direction for us, and he's done a great job of that.
My question here. The wear and tear of an SEC season. I mean, how does the West compare maybe in years past to this year?
I'll be honest, over the last couple of years, I mean, the West is pretty good. I think you see that, of a lot of teams just kind of devouring themselves right now in the West. I think Alabama's done a good job, obviously, of separating themselves a little bit. But I think you watch every other game. I don't know if there's a result between two teams that would shock anybody in the SEC West with people playing each other. Close game, blowout. I mean, anything. I don't know that stuff would shock you because of how good teams can be in this side of the league and how much everybody beats up on each other. And I think, part of it and part of the non-shocking is you say, okay, well, what would it be like if everyone was completely fresh and healthy for a game? Well, that's not a realistic deal in this league. A lot of leagues, there's lots of separation between teams. You get a lot of blowout. Some of the top couple teams get some blowout and easy wins. They get to develop young players, rest, and sit starters. In this league, you're battling pretty much every week for 4 quarters. And the physicality and the wear and tear it takes on the players. You got to have depth, and as guys get banged up, if the next guys aren't ready to go, well, you're going to be in a rough situation now.
Coach, senior week, did your message change, or do you treat it like another week?
No, our message this week is, hey, we got our back to the wall. We got a home game. We got to go win at home. That's what it is. I don't know that senior week has as much to do with it this week as much as, hey, we've kind of been backed into a corner and we got to find a way to win.
I think Fitz had 2 interceptions in the first 4 games. He has, I think, 8 in the last 5. What's kind of changed, and then our defense is just kind of adjusting to his adjustment, or what have you seen?
No, he's probably, I think, taking more chances.
Okay.
Not just being super conservative with the football, and taking some opportunities to make throws that he might have either taken a sack or started scrambling with early on.
With 2 games remaining, I know when you brought Peter in and the 3 other defensive assistants, you had an ideology that you wanted them to kind of show. Or what do you think of their first season so far?
Well, I think it's what's tough because at times it's really good. At other times I see guys not making plays, and whether it be injuries or depth or other situations, we've had to make a lot of adjustments because of personnel. On that side of the ball, with guys being banged up and limited and whatnot. So I think they've done a pretty good job. To me, I think the thing the thing they've done best is the flexibility into this is kind of what we wanted to look at our roster, this is what we wanted to do. All of a sudden, bang, you take out your starting DN and both starting corners. Let's yank them out for huge periods of time. All right, so we got to go start making some adjustments now. And then you're starting safeties out for an extended period of time during the season. And doing that with a young team with not a lot of depth, of being able to adjust and put us into situations, put guys into situations to make plays.
In trying to think about that 13 team, how much do you tell the current team about it, and how much do you rely on the Richie Browns and the seniors, so to speak, to rekindle that memory?
A little bit. I talk to them. Hey, here's the thing. We have our plan. We've been in this, coaches, we've been in this situation before. Here's the plan to follow what we're doing. And there's very few guys that were here in that situation or were participating in that situation. Those are guys need to step up. And because most of the guys that were here were participating, or kind of more towel wavers or role players, and you know, you got to go step up and be the Nico Whitley to go make the play and will the team to win. And that's the older guys. They've been there. They've seen someone do it, so it's their opportunity to go